And they're building, the powers that be are building a threat matrix.
Now, you've been saying this for years, and I've had the documents. You've had them for years. People didn't, but never got big news. We now have all these federal training reports, not just the MIAC and others, saying veterans are the number one threat, gun owners, that people, quote, buying guns and ammo are terrorists. And then, I didn't even get to this during the main show. I'm telling you, I'm dropping the ball. Obama pushing treaty to ban reloading. This is from Gun Owners of America. And the treaty says they will ban all private manufacture and reloading, even of factories. And we see the Army 2 months ago and the Armed Services saying we're not going to sell our bulk 308, 30-06, 223, 7.6239, and all these other ammos, 50 cal, to the private, even, major corporate reloaders. And so this is confirmed up on Infowars.com, directly from Gun Owners of America. Larry Pratt did a video on it. In fact, I kept forgetting. Let's get Larry Pratt on the next few days. Will you tell Rob, before I forget? Just a note, because I write it over here and forget. I'm going to get him on tomorrow, in fact, as soon as we can. We got that hitting us. We've got, this is just incredible, all the things they're doing, Steve Quayle. Let's go to another call here. Let's talk to Dave in Ontario, Canada. Thanks for holding. You're a trooper. You're on the air with Steve Quayle. Go ahead.
Well, thanks very much, Alex. Here I am in Ontario. Now, I want to say something about CTV News yesterday. Now, you probably recognize Lloyd Robertson. He's, of course,
Alex?
Yes, Steve. Hold on one second, Dave.
Yep.
Is he on? I'm sorry, I'm just hearing dead space. I just thought we got cut off or something.
No, his audio's very low. I've told the guys that we're just getting our phone system here tweaked. Okay, Dave, speak up.
Anyway, to continue.
Can you hear him now, Steve?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
listen, make your point, then I'll bring it up to Steve. Go ahead.
Right. Now, yesterday, Lloyd Robertson appeared on the CTV Newsnet with a travel advisory from voyage.gc.ca, which is the Transport Canada thing. And he said, Canadians traveling to Mexico should exercise a high degree of caution due to occasional demonstrations and protests. And he went on to say, Canadians should be particularly vigilant in northern Mexico because of the military and drug cartels. You could have shootouts. What a load of horse hockey. Come on, give me a break.
Let me comment on that. He's saying Transport Canada got up on TV and said, watch out when you go to Mexico because of the shootouts with the police and military, with the drug dealers, one and the same, two different drug gangs fighting, and because of demonstrations. And that's my issue. Mexico, and we had State Department experts on about this and others, was set to probably be overthrown this summer. There was a good chance of it. Rebellion nationwide. That's why I've had state senators on from Texas who are gearing up martial law on the Texas border, as you know, Steve. Could all this just be being used as hyping of just a flu, though we know it isn't just a regular flu, but just hyping it so the government can be the savior, so folks start worrying about their lives and stop worrying about the tyranny?
Well, absolutely, because in essence, if people are getting too close to the truth, the thing you immediately do is you introduce another situation that takes their eyes off of the big picture. It's just like there's a movement out there to abolish the Fed. I got news for everybody. The Fed's already been abolished. It's now going to be called the International Monetary Authority. The big money has moved to the Far East. This is set up, Alex. It's a total setup. So the thing that I think that most everyone must understand, that the international elite could care less about nationalities. They could care less about loyalties. All they want is the raw material, and they're the pirates of the world at large.
They use false patriotism to control us while they're busy destroying the nation. And then when you get their own secret documents, their real threat is the red, white, and blue. Thank you, caller, Dave in Ontario.
Thank you,
Carter. Thank you, Carter in Louisiana. You're on the air with Steve Quayle. Go ahead, Carter.
Hey guys, thank you. Hey, one thing I wanted to bring up, it's a little bit of my own analysis. I think you guys will see that this is probably true. They see us reaching critical mass with the Tea Parties, conservative estimates with 2,000 parties with only 500 people, basically bring the numbers to 1 million, but we know maybe probably 1 out of 10 showed up, and then places like Atlanta, and they had 40,000 people that showed up there. So what they know is I think that another brick in Steve's argument is why now is the time, is because they realize they can't put the lid back on things. And if they don't usurp us now, then they'll not have a chance in the future.
Well, that's what I've been saying for months. The awakening to world government, the awakening to the New World Order, with them openly announcing it, They need some crisis as they emerge to play the part of saviors, attacking Iran, attacking Pakistan, further global financial plunge, stage terror attacks, bird flu. You know, I've said those are the cards. They can play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the cards, or they can play none of the cards, but I don't see them being able to move their agenda forward without a crisis. I don't know if this is the one, though, but they're sure hyping it, so we're here covering it, and I hope Steve is wrong about this, but I respect him. Steve, did you hear him?
Yes, and the brick is absolutely correct, but I think where Alex, the thing, look, I pray with tears running down my cheeks that I'm wrong, but I know this sounds arrogant, but I'm not. The reason I'm not is because it's not just one event. The global collapse of the financial world at all is engineered. Remember this, the number one prime directive of the New World Order and all of its minions is order out of chaos. Out with the old, in with the new. That means they're willing to self-immolate, in other words, put to the torch even their property for the sake of Lucifer.
They call it creative destruction officially.
Exactly.
They want to destroy things to bring in their New World Order. Thank you so much, Carter. George in Texas, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, the thing is, I'm listening to the crisis. The thing is, I think we could deflect this if we could just get involved locally and deal with this locally at a local level.
Wrong. I say that, I don't mean any disrespect to your caller, and I'll just get right to it. The situation is that the critical mass, Alex, that, is representing the Tea Party, we obviously saw the belittlement, the ridicule, etc. This is where the biological card is being played. Now look, when you win the game, you lay down all your cards at once, okay? We've seen cards being played. We've seen the vilification of the Patriots. We've seen anybody who's a constitutionalist, the whole list of DHS. And now, the last card in my mind that triggered this, which, by the way, I said would be the case even 10 years ago on talk radio, that the systematic elimination of returning veterans who could present a problem. I said they will be systematically isolated and terminated, okay? Well, then I was a crackpot. When that card was played, Alex, that's when the whole thing went into effect, in my opinion. Now, I really do believe that, time is going to be very, very critical. And somebody just sent me an email saying, don't forget that I think April 30th is Walpurgis night, which is the second most satanic, important date on the satanic ritual calendar.
Yeah, after Samhain or Samhain. All right.
Yeah, that's Samhain.
Yeah, thank you so much, George. Yeah, it does appear they're playing their cards. They're moving into high gear. Things are accelerating. And I've been telling folks we're entering the danger zone. I don't know if this is it, but we are in the danger zone. Let's go ahead and talk to Nathan in Texas. Nathan, you're on the air.
Yes, sir. This is Nathan. I have a question. Earlier you talked about aspartame and how it was grown in vats. And I'm a type 1 diabetic, and my insulin is also grown in vats. And in the United States, they have banned pork and beef insulin, which is extracted from obviously cows and pigs.
That's right. They have pharmacological bacteria. They have pharmacological bacteria and crops that actually in the crops or in the bacteria secrete the insulin. I knew about that. And they also secrete the estrogen. When you hear it's synthetic, it's not really synthetic. It's coming from another organism. Just like they spray most of the meats you buy now so they can sell you rotten meat. In Latin, it translates, the English translation is virus-eating, bacteria-eating virus. And they spray this liquid vaccine on most of your meats. The problem is it's bred in tanks that come from fetal tissue stock in many cases. So it's being grown in dead human stock in these giant tanks. Folks, you can't make this up. And then that's sprayed on your meat. I mean, Steve, again, who comes up with stuff like this?
Literally out of the cauldrons of hell. Jesus made the statement that until he puts an end to the evil, there will be no end to the evil. And I want to share something. Well, these people are so absolutely ready to sacrifice 9/10 of the world's planetary population. I think people who are Christians had better realize this. They have got to stand up. They have got to take back the ground that they've given, because there's one thing more powerful than all the power of hell, and it's called the blood of Jesus. That simply means this, is that God is on his people's side. And Alex, what's strange to me is that the Christian churches that are rolling over for the New World Order, how can they prepare their people except to prepare them for slaughter?
Well, they're bought and paid for it. They're bought and paid for through the clergy response teams.
Absolutely. So my inbox is filling up right now after your show. And I mean, the point is that during your show, and I'm sure it will fill up after the show, but that's what people have got to understand. I didn't mean to be controversial with the man, but it's too late to get involved locally. You know what? When I get an email that says, we ought to do this, we ought to do that, you know where that goes? It goes in my junk pile. Because that usually means you do it, Alex, or Steve, you do it. Fortunately, there are people that are standing up with us, not behind us. But the point that has to be gotten is this.
You're listening to GCN, the world leader in independent talk radio.